In the midst of a bitter winter night, I found myself alone in my car, navigating a desolate road that was shrouded in an unbroken sea of snow. The moon hung low on the horizon, casting an eerie bluish glow on the frozen landscape. The world outside seemed like a spectral dreamscape, simultaneously beautiful and forbidding. As I drove along the isolated highway, the cold, unrelenting wind seeped through the car's worn-out seals, creeping into my bones and chilling me to the core. The silence was deafening, punctuated only by the soft crunch of my tires against the snow-covered asphalt. With each passing mile, the barren trees that lined the road took on a sinister aspect, their frost-covered branches appearing like gnarled, skeletal fingers reaching out to ensnare me. The radio remained stubbornly silent, leaving me alone with my thoughts and the ever-present feeling of isolation. I clenched the steering wheel, my knuckles white, resolute in my determination to press on through this desolate winter night. The eerie beauty of the snow-draped world outside my window did little to alleviate the mounting unease that had settled in my chest. It felt as though I was venturing into a different dimension, a realm where nature's elements conspired to both captivate and terrify. As I continued my journey, an enigmatic figure came into view. A hitchhiker, clad in tattered winter garments, stood motionless in the middle of the snow-covered road, a haunting sight against the pristine backdrop. My heart quickened as I approached, curiosity warring with unease about what could drive someone to be out here in this harsh winter night. With caution, I pulled over, my tires crunching through the freshly fallen snow, and rolled down the window. "Need a ride?" I called out, my voice trembling from a mixture of cold and apprehension. The hitchhiker, their face concealed by layers of winter clothing, slowly turned to face me. A shiver ran down my spine as their eyes, cold and lifeless, met mine. Their breath formed misty clouds in the frigid air as they silently climbed into the back seat. My apprehension grew as I continued down the snow-covered road, the weight of the hitchhiker's presence becoming increasingly oppressive. The cold seemed to penetrate deeper into my bones. I slammed on the brakes and my heart pounded in my chest, deafening. The hitchhiker had vanished. A glance in the rearview mirror welled up within me as I spun around, frantically searching for any trace of their presence. The back seat remained empty, leaving me bewildered and terrified. That's when a hand, as frigid as the winter night itself, clamped down on my shoulder. A voice like the whisper of the biting wind said, "You should have kept driving." Terror overtook me, and I fought to escape. With a trembling hand, I flung open the car door and stumbled out into the unforgiving cold. I ran until my legs gave way, collapsing in the snow, gasping for breath, my pulse racing. In the distance, I heard the haunting voice of the hitchhiker, carried on the winter wind. "This road is cursed, and it claims those who dare to drive it on winter nights." And there, under the spectral moonlight of that cursed winter night, I realized that some roads are best left untraveled, for the chilling horrors that lurk in the shadows can drive even the bravest souls to the brink of madness. The relentless fury of Montana's blizzard had turned McDonald Pass into a forbidding labyrinth of snow and swirling winds. Amidst this wintry maelstrom, I found myself trailing a formidable gray Toyota Tundra, a lone sentinel braving the storm's wrath with unwavering determination. The Tundra, an imposing presence amidst the blizzard's chaos, charged ahead with an audacity that seemed to defy the very laws of caution. As the pass gradually transformed, the incline steepened, and the snowbanks grew into towering, deceptive drifts that masked the perilous nature of the terrain. Sensing the impending danger, I erred on the side of prudence, easing off the accelerator to a cautious 35 miles per hour. However, the Tundra barreled forward, its silhouette vanishing into the swirling whiteout, a specter swallowed by the tempest. Minutes stretched into an eternity, each passing second amplifying the gnawing sense of foreboding. Then, an ominous sight, a set of fresh tire tracks etched into the snow, leading ominously off the edge of the pass. A chill slithered down my spine as I pulled over, peering cautiously into the abyss below. The scene that greeted me was a terrifying tableau, an overturned tundra engulfed in flames that licked at the snow-covered ground, casting grotesque shadows in the blizzard's ghostly light. The crackling of the fire echoed against the howling winds, an eerie symphony of chaos amidst the desolate landscape. Driven by a surge of adrenaline, I fumbled for my phone, fingers trembling as I dialed 911, urgency threading through every word as I relayed the harrowing details of the accident. Each moment spent on the line felt like an eternity, the blizzard's ferocity intensifying with every passing second. Emergency responders battled through the unforgiving storm, their arrival a glimmer of hope amidst the unrelenting tempest. With unwavering determination, they descended upon the scene, their efforts focused on extricating any survivors from the twisted wreckage below. In the aftermath, the driver, bearing grave injuries and scorched by the merciless flames, clung to a fragile thread of life. It was a haunting testament to the frailty of humanity in the face of nature's merciless fury. The stark aftermath of the accident served as a chilling reminder of nature's raw power and the devastating consequences of underestimating its force. The image of the blazing tundra amidst the desolate snow-covered expanse will forever haunt my thoughts, a chilling testament to the relentless and unforgiving reality of nature's wrath. On this fateful night, the world seemed veiled in mystery as my girlfriend and I embarked on an extraordinary odyssey. We had left the safety and routine of home far behind, enticed by the allure of an uncharted and enigmatic road. Within the secure cocoon of our car, her fingers interlocked with mine. Our anticipation was intertwined with a captivating sense of unease. This journey wasn't merely an escape from the ordinary. It was an exploration of the extraordinary, a chance to inscribe our own legends onto the tapestry of existence. The open road beckoned, promising uncharted realms and a bond between us that would be forged in the crucible of this night. Yet, the storm that raged outside had transformed the world, casting a spell of wonder and tension over our adventure. The raindrops hammered the windshield with relentless insistence, each one a percussionist in a frenetic symphony directed by nature herself. The sporadic bursts of lightning were flashes of revelation, momentarily illuminating a road that appeared to meander like a riddle waiting to be solved. The forest, a sentinel of secrets, bordered the road, its depths concealing enigmas that seemed destined to remain uncharted within the shroud of the night. As I guided the car through the labyrinthine path, the unease grew, adding an edge of suspense to our escapade. My girlfriend's eyes darted nervously, capturing fleeting shadows and spectral figures that danced at the periphery of our vision. The sensation of being watched, once a solitary burden, now enveloped us, as if our car had become a haven for a spectral observer. Her hand clung to mine, seeking refuge amid the mounting fear. Then, the eerie sensation solidified into a disconcerting reality. Our headlights sliced through the darkness, revealing a figure standing sentinel by the roadside. My girlfriend gasped, her grip on my hand tightening to an almost painful intensity. The spectral figure, with its pallid countenance illuminated by the eerie radiance of its eyes, felt like a creature summoned from the collective recesses of our nightmares. Panic surged through us as I swerved the car to avoid the apparition, our hearts racing in unison. But as we dared to glance back, the figure had vanished into the obscurity, leaving behind a chilling memory that hung in the air like a phantom's presence. Determined to evade this uncanny terror, I pressed the accelerator with resolute determination. The rain continued to lash against the car, as if the elements themselves had cast us as intruders. The trees lining the road extended their gnarled branches, scraping against the windows, and the forest shadows metamorphosed into grotesque, otherworldly entities. It was as though the very world had formed a sinister alliance, conspiring to keep us entwined within the labyrinthine mysteries of the night. The car's radio, once a comforting companion, had become an instrument of the arcane. It emitted distorted, otherworldly sounds, and the whispers that filled the car sent shivers down our spines. My girlfriend trembled, her eyes wide with terror. I hastened to silence the radio, but the sense of foreboding persisted, as though the very darkness had found its voice, whispering secrets we were never meant to hear. Just as our hope teetered on the precipice of despair, a faint light appeared on the horizon, a beacon of salvation amid the pervasive obscurity. We pulled into a small clearing, and as we stepped out of the car, we were greeted by an eerie silence. The rain had ceased, and the stillness felt like a sentient presence, as if the very air held secrets close to its heart. The memory of that tempestuous night, the apparitions and our shared fear would forever be etched in our souls. We had weathered a night drive that would remain vivid in our memories, an adventure where unique elements of wonder, suspense, and enigma had fused together, leaving us with a lingering question of what lay concealed in the mysteries of our journey. The fog thickened, tendrils of mist snaking their way around the car, enveloping it in a suffocating embrace. The wisps of fog swirled and coiled, creating ghostly shapes that danced along the edges of the forest, casting eerie shadows that seemed to have a life of their own. The radio crackled, emitting static-filled whispers that mingled with the haunting silence of the night. I stretched out my hand to turn it off, but before I could, a voice, distorted and ominous, cut through the crackling, a voice that spoke of ancient curses and untold horrors, sending a shiver down my spine. The road ahead twisted and turned, a ribbon of asphalt winding through the ancient woods. The trees loomed like silent sentinels, their branches reaching out like gnarled fingers, casting elongated shadows that clawed at the edges of my vision. A sense of foreboding settled in, each passing moment thickening the air with an oppressive weight. As I navigated a sharp bend, a figure darted across the road, a fleeting glimpse of a shadowy form that vanished into the dense undergrowth. My heart skipped a beat as I slammed on the brakes, scanning the darkness for any sign of movement. But the forest remained still, draped in an unsettling silence, pierced only by the haunting rustle of leaves and the distant howl of a lone wolf. A sudden chill swept through the car as the headlights flickered, their feeble beams threatening to succumb to the encroaching darkness. I muttered a desperate plea, my breath hitching as I prepared for the inevitable blackout. Yet, just as I braced for the void, the light steadied, casting a trembling beam onto the road ahead. A distant sound, barely audible at first, rumbled from the heart of the woods, a low, guttural growl that reverberated through the night air. My pulse quickened, a cold sweat breaking across my skin as I stole nervous glances at the rearview mirror, half expecting to glimpse something lurking in the shadows behind me. Then, as if summoned by the abyss itself, a tapping, a faint, rhythmic tapping, emanated from the passenger window. My heart raced in my chest as I turned slowly, eyes widening in terror to find nothing but the impenetrable darkness pressing against the glass, the tapping persisting, growing louder, more insistent with each passing moment. With trembling hands, I fumbled for the door lock, the suspense hanging heavy in the air like a suffocating fog. Each movement felt amplified, every creak of the car a deafening symphony of dread. The tapping persisted, growing louder, more urgent, as if daring me to unveil the horrors that lurked beyond the thin barrier of the window.